You're watching Good Morning Kentucky with Lee Cruz, Haley Harmon, and your forecast with meteorologist Dylan Goday. ABC 36 on your side.
Hey, welcome back. We're talking kids with Dr. Caitlin this morning, or Lexington pediatrician, Dr. Caitlin Iddings.
Yes, and today's topic is about bug bites. Very common to get, of course, especially in the summer, but they can still be a pain to deal with for kiddos and adults. And so today we're going to be talking all about those pesky bug bites. Good to see you this morning.
Good morning.
Okay, kids and adults get these, and they're basic. We all deal with them, but they're so annoying.
Yeah. Sometimes kids can get pretty impressive ones, which will often, make their parents be worried that, oh, maybe it's infected or something like that.
Because you'll see parents actually bring their child in concerned over some bug bites.
And so the thing with bug bites, usually it's mosquito bites, chiggers around here that people worry about, is as they bite you, they kind of inject their saliva, which has a chemical that can cause sort of a allergic reaction type thing. Now, you're not going to anaphylax from it, but you can get some pretty impressive local reactions where it gets really big, swollen, red. Of course, when you're a little kid and you're kind of like scratching at it, there is the chance that you could kind of cause it to get infected. So that's usually when parents will bring it in and they're like, oh my gosh, I think it's infected. And so what I usually tell them is, bug bites are usually going to get kind of worse over the first 2 days after they happen, because what most parents are worried about is that it's like a staph infection, right? So we all have staph and strep that just kind of live on our skin. They don't usually cause issues, they just kind of colonize us. But if you get sort of a small scratch in the skin, like from a bug bite, they can get underneath the skin and then cause sort of a localized staph infection, which can be dangerous, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But look, what I usually tell them is, and it'll happen on the eye. The eye can get really big and swollen and puffy. That's a common place for little kids to get bug bites. So usually we recommend, start them on antihistamines. Of course, if they're under age 2, you need to ask your doctor for the dosing for that. And do cool compresses, just kind of topical hydrocortisone, something like that, and give it a couple days, because usually a couple days later it'll look much better, versus if it's like a staph infection, you're going to have that redness continuing to spread and get bigger. It'll usually be more painful than itchy. You might see like a little pustule start to form, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the baseline for a parent that's trying to discern whether or not to bring them to the doctor? What am I looking for exactly? So what you described is a typical bug bite, but is there something, because it could be a spider bite, that could be something that you really need to worry about.
Often will say they have a spider bite, and that oftentimes is staph because of the way it looks. So like I said, if it's hard, if it has sort of that middle where you're like, it feels like there's fluid in there, if it's really warm to the touch and not itchy but actually painful for the child, that could be more in the realm of staph infection, something like that. Yeah, and so those are the ones that we want to see. But some kids will get just very impressive. It can blister, it can get really swollen and big, so it can be kind of hard to tease out at times. But like we said, usually staph infections will get worse over time, whereas bug bites, if you're kind of doing, the antihistamines, the hydrocortisone, things to calm down the allergic reaction, will get better over the next couple days.
No one took me to the doctor. They just said, don't play with it.
Yeah. Don't scratch it.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. Yeah, that always makes it worse, kids and adults. Okay, so we talked about some of the treatments and how to know if you need to seek help, but prevention, what? Just...
so the mosquitoes are bad, especially right now where we've had all the rain and kind of standing water. That's where they like to nest. So making sure you're trying to clear areas of standing water as best as you can, clean out your gutters, make sure they're not nesting there. And then, there's all these companies that will come and spray for mosquitoes. DEET is kind of the best thing if you're going to be out in the deep woods, because that really can repel them, or getting the clothing that's treated with permethrin. So they have these special chemical treated clothing that aren't dangerous to kids, but they really will keep off ticks, mosquitoes, all sort of things like that.
Okay. Yeah. All right, some good info there of something we all deal with all summer long. So Dr. Caitlin, good to have you with us this morning.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Stay with us. You're watching Good Morning Kentucky. We'll be right back.